Didn't you work with a lot of for sale by owners?
Yes, I did. Like I said, I went out knocking on doors, and I got I got a lot of properties. It was challenging market. It was challenging. Talking to people who just didn't want to pay for a realtor. And I actually had one engineer where he was selling at his parents' house, who passed away unfortunately, but he had a broken down garage and a room back there, but it was it wasn't complete. And he says, "Hey, we need to add this to the square footage." Imagine trying to negotiate with him on how much. Like, hey, your house is probably worth about this much. Like, no, I got that extra square footage back there. But yes, I did get a lot of for sale by owners. If you can actually pull up Spring Branch, the PDF down there. This is one of the houses that I got. This property had been on the market before, and it had been for sale for $400,000. When I met the seller, she had fired this agent, or this had expired, and she wanted to sell it for $425,000. I told her, "Hey, your house is probably worth more around somewhere between $370,000 and $380,000. But if you want to put it for $425,000, we'll put it for $425,000." So when I started doing my research on the house, I realized that it was listed before. And if you go down, Jack, you can see the agent's comments right here, right there. It says, you can see the agent remarks that it's sold for lot value only.
What comments?
Oh, wow.
What comments? There's very little comments there.
Yeah, even the public remark says, "Hey, there's no value here. It's sold for lot value only."
He doesn't believe in the sale of that property at all.
Yeah, send me your lowest offer, pretty much is what it's saying, right?
And also what it's saying, it says, showing instructions, no appointment required. Just walk in.
Yeah,
just walk in whenever you feel like
the
it.
people live there. They can't just walk in.
Was the house in that bad a shape?
No, I mean, that house was actually... It was an older home.
I mean, 1,700 square feet.
Back in those days, it could have still been rented out for probably around $1,500, maybe $1,700, because it was in Spring Branch. It was right there by Wirt Road and Sober. So, and this guy only took 6 pictures. So if you go down on this to the next page. This is my listing. So we started.
This is the same property.
The same property.
Same property.
We started at 425, and of course it sat there for a while, and I did everything I can to get it sold. And then if you go further down, you'll see that right here it says, "Have you considered moving to Spring Branch? Now's your chance." There's more information about the area.
It's more enticing as well. I mean,
Galleria, Memorial City Mall, City Center. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and one of the things I took about 50-something pictures, 30 pictures. The previous guy only had 6. One of the things I also took of is a picture of the fire station that was about 5 minutes away. And I said, you can live with the peace of mind that the fire station is only, feel safe, And then if you go down, Jack, this is another for sale by owner on the same street. The sellers from that first house recommended me to this couple here. Unfortunately, this couple were foreigners that weren't used to exclusive representation, the way we do things here. And I told them, it's like, "Hey, let me represent you and I'll sell your property. I believe this is a better lot than the one I had before, and the one I sold before, and I think I can sell it for more." And I actually told them, normally I don't tell for sale by owners, anything about value, my opinions on value or anything like that. I just tell them I'll sell it for top price. But I actually told them I could sell it for at least $377 because their lot was bigger, it was in a better location, and the house was in much better condition. They said, "No, we don't want to sign an exclusive agreement. This other agent down the street, he's bringing us buyers, and we're just going to take one of his deals." And this is what happens. They sold their property for $339, which is about, I don't know, $4,000, $40,000 less or something like that. And that's what happens when you don't hire a realtor to represent your best interest. You pretty much, giving your property away or giving your money away.
Well, that's sort of the thing that Open Door are doing, and all of these wholesaling companies. What they're basically doing is, people don't want to pay the commission, and they're going to some of these wholesalers, and basically what they're doing is giving thousands of dollars away.
Yeah.
Just because they don't want to show the house, but at the end of the day, it's an auction. If you've got 20 people bidding on one house, you're going to get a better price, and you get a better rate of return on your investment
And that's a huge misconception that all these iBuyers, these internet portals that are offering money for property, that's one of their biggest lies that they give out to people is like, hey, if you work with a real estate agent, you have to show the property, you have to fix your property up, you always have to keep it immaculate and clean, and you have to always show it to people. And that's not the truth. When you meet with a realtor will tell you is like, hey, if you don't want to clean your house, if you don't want to repair it, if you don't want to show it, that's all fine. But here are the consequences that will happen if you decide to take that route. But if that's what you want to do, fine, we'll just sell it that way. You're the boss. The sellers, it's your house. You determine how what steps you want to take. You don't want to take any steps to get to maximize value. It's okay. We understand that. We can work with that.
Yeah, we had somebody the other day, 82-year-old guy, wants to sell his condo. All he wanted to do was to no showings, just put it online, put it on Facebook, and get me offers. Wouldn't let us put it in the MLS.
Oh, wow.
And nobody could come by to see it.
Nobody could come see it.
Wow.
And then our agent said, look, go ahead and do it. Our agent basically put it in the MLS, done the marketing, the advertising that we do. We had 5 offers within literally 4 days. When the guy's 82 and he's depending on it, on all the money you can get for the property.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, and then we're not even talking about these internet portals. Not only they give them low offers like this one, but on top of that, there's huge transaction fees at the end that they charge. You know?
Yeah, and they won't tell you that in the pitch.
They don't tell you that.
They just tell you,
it's in the small print.
This much. It's in the small print, but they don't realize that it's going to be there.
Yeah, we had a house near the airport. Lady called us up, said, I want to sell my house. I've had another realtor try to sell it. And the other realtor was a real professional guy, even called me up when we got the listing. And very, very professional. And we said to the client, what do you want to sell it for? Well, we want to sell it. She was in the process of getting a house built, a custom home built. She was retiring. I think she worked in for one of the worked at the airport for one of the the carriers. I think it was United. And she basically said, well, if I get $377 for the house, I'll be happy. So I think we listed at $387. And in the meantime of going from the very previous agent to us, you got an offer from Open Door, and they offered $287.
Yep. Sounds like.
And then they went through the process, and the $287, she had to pay for the inspection, which is normally a buyer's expense. They had to pay for the inspection. Then they found some repairs, and then they got contractors to do the repairs. Then she had to pay for a contractor inspection. Then she had to do all this other stuff, and they took it from the price. By the time she'd finished, I believe that it was in the region of 260, 270. Mm-hmm. They'd taken it down. And it was so disappointing for her. Anyway, we ended up selling it for maybe, I think it was around 370.